All righty, welcome back for another episode of Two Plane Sports. I've been MIA for like the last week, but I am back, and we are back for another episode. We're going to be talking about a recent commit and some recruiting updates. Jose has to pay for a ridiculous bet that Brandon and I both thought it wasn't even going to be remotely close, and it actually came down to a score of 18-13. Brandon and I prevailed that Bohannon would have been a better option, but since he has since gone to USF, and here's Jose shotgunning his two, it's not even beer, but it's ranch water. Here's one with his device. He's going through it. And but before we get into it, look at that reaction. Oh my gosh, that's one of two.
I think we need this every week, boys, on the show. Someone's got a shotgun something. I enjoyed that.
I'm going to make a mess today.
Oh,
all right.
Man.
Sorry to interrupt. Go ahead.
Yeah. All right. So, but before we get into it, we just want to say we really appreciate it. We've got a goal of 10,000 subscribers. We're a little over 4,000. Hit the subscribe button if you guys keep coming back and you enjoy the content. It helps us out a lot. Keeps growing the channel. And as we grow, we will continue to give out more tickets like we did in the spring game. The more subscribers, more notification bells turn on, the more chances for you to win free tickets this fall. So be sure to do that. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, like us on Instagram, or follow us on Instagram, whatever it is. Follow us on Apple and Spotify. Everything will be linked down in the description below. Jose, are you taking a break?
Yeah, give me a second. I ate a little bit too much rice earlier.
Sounds good. So the first guy we're going to talk about, and this is just real briefly, I missed the show that Jose and Brandon talked about JJ Hester before he officially committed, and which, you know, it's a huge addition. Originally from Booker T, Tulsa kid, coming back home. He's going to have 3 years of eligibility left. He had a couple 100 yards last year with the Tigers. I think him coming in, he adds a ton of length. A ton of upside. He's a little different than what Cody Jackson, provided. It's a bigger guy like a Theo Weiss. The Sooners obviously had LV Bunkley Shelton on campus as well, which would have been like a Cody Jackson replacement. But they ended up choosing, or maybe it was just the fact that Hester committed before Bunkley Shelton would, and that's what it's first come, first serve. And I'm glad we picked up the depth. I think, I'm not saying that he's going to make an immediate impact, but I do think that he could play a little bit this fall, and he might really show up on the field fall of 2023. You guys have any thoughts? I know you guys talked about him at length, but I just wanted to kind of say a few things.
Yeah, so earlier, I guess it wasn't today, but I saw the tweet today. In week 3 of last season, he was one of the faster players. Like, I guess there's a Twitter page that records like fastest players for that week. He got up to 22.1 miles per hour. So if he's in open space, that guy's going to take off. Kind of similar to a Jaden Gibson kind of dude. He just needs to find some room, and he will be gone. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see how much playing time, if any, you'll get during the season.
I was just going to kind of echo what Jose said there. I'm very excited about his speed. I saw the same tweet earlier. 22 miles an hour for a guy that's almost 6'4" that's scary stuff. But Jaden Gibson brings the same thing. I do think we'll see him some this season. I don't anticipate him starting either. But I definitely see him out there on the field, just because a guy that's 6'4" that can run with that kind of speed is going to see the field. It's inevitable. Huge get for the Sooners. He was the preferred candidate of the two that we talked about as that unaccounted for lock. Glad he's here. Can't wait to get to work with him. No, I mean, obviously I'm not going to work with him, but can't wait to see him.
Yeah.
What he does out there.
He might actually compete with Jaden Gibson, because if his body's more naturally ready, he has been in college for 2 years, Jaden might lose out just because he's not strong enough at this point. I
already think Jaden Gibson's that guy, so I'm going to disagree. Is that the next shotgun bet? Who's better, Jaden Gibson or JJ Hester?
We'll see. You might say something ridiculous later.
That's a long-term bet, but I just have to throw this out here with just to think about it. So in a scenario where the Sooners roll out Theo Weiss, 6'3", Jaden Gibson, 6'5", Hester, 6'3", and Willis, 6'4". And you can even put Drake Stoops, as a small RKI slot guy. I don't see any.
Yeah.
Do what?
I think that's what I brought up when we were talking about him potentially being that last lock. Is my brain went to the same place you just did. It's like that's scary to have that much length at receiver, and it's not only length. It's guys who can burn too. Jose just mentioned JJ Hester clocking in at 22. We saw Jaden Gibson in the open field in the spring game, and Theo Weiss is Theo Weiss. Like it's not just a bunch of 6'4" dudes out there that are slow. No, they can cook a little bit too.
And then Javonte Barnes out of the backfield. Sorry.
Yeah, true.
Because he's 6 foot tall.
Yeah, it's just crazy because there's not a secondary in the Big 12 right now that has enough length in their secondary that can match up with all those guys rolling out there. Just a thought, and everyone can go high point the ball and go play bully ball basically. So, but that's all I've got. It's good to get him in. Feel a little bit better about the receiver room now. I'm glad that we brought another Oklahoma kid back home. Someone that probably should not have ever left in the first place. I don't know. I mean,
what was the 20? He was a class of 2020. So can anyone think back to the 2020 recruits? Was Marvin Mims was one.
Yeah, it was Mims. It wasn't the 2019 class with Hazelwood and all that and Weiss. I can't remember who was in the 2020. It probably was Mims.
Yeah, because he came in with
some research on that.
I don't know. I can look it up. We can go ahead and move on, and I'll look it up right now.
Yeah. Oh, Cody Jackson. Was Cody Jackson in that class?
No, he was last year. He was 21.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, anyway, it's good to see that he's on campus, or he will be, and someone that had a ton of depth. All right. So we'll move on to the next guy. This is someone we've never talked about. We've never had a reason to talk about on this show, but it's quickly developing, and someone that is on the flip watch. For a while there, Jose was calling it the flipness back in around Christmas time, when Venables came on board. But this is another kid that's under the flip watch. Is Reid Mikeska? Jose thinks that's how you pronounce it. I have no idea, but Reid Mikeska, he's from Cypress, Texas, and he's in the 2023 class. He's a 3-star tight end, but he's currently committed to Clemson, and he received his offer from Oklahoma on May 5th. And he now is visiting this weekend, coming up on the 13th or 14th, 15th. He's coming up for Clemson, just like OU now is running. They're not letting commits go out and take visits unofficially or officially anywhere. Well, he is going to do that. And actually, you know what? As we're recording this, he actually just announced that he is decommitting. So just found that out live. Just since I've done our research, he's come out and decommitted. So he's currently decommitted now. So if this is writing on the wall, he's coming in and visiting the Sooners this weekend. I'd imagine he's going to be a quick commit. While he's a 3-star, I will give credit to Parker Thune to point this out. He has the most offers for a tight end in the 2023 class. Alabama, Clemson, Oklahoma, Florida, all the big schools. Every school wants him. He's got a boatload of offers. But he only had a couple hundred yards of receiving last year. But you guys were watching his highlight tape, and let me know, Brandon, what do you think about him and your takeaway on him?
No, I think anytime that you are offered more than anybody in the country at your position, there's a reason for that. We talked about it before we started recording. Yeah, his numbers that don't jump off the page at you, as you mentioned. I think he only had 24 catches, about 229 yards, and 2 touchdowns last year. But he is a very, very versatile guy who stands at 6. about 235 pounds. So he's obviously got great size to play tight end at the next level, especially in the SEC against some of those big boys. But he is so it's the size thing at 6'6", and then if you guys go to his 24/7 page and click his highlight reel, whatever, I think it's the third play. It's the third play of his clip, about 25 seconds into it. There's a play where he is lined up. I believe he's in the backfield, kind of, and they run a handoff, and he takes his guy and runs him back 10 yards off the ball, and ends up planting him right in the turf. He Michael Lord him, as we talked about with Caden Green when he did a similar thing on his tape. I get very, very excited for stuff like that. I think with the production, as far as the box score, his own 229 yards, 2 touchdowns, I think it's less concerning because we don't know what kind of scheme that offense runs at his high school. They could just not be a huge pass-heavy team. The numbers will come once he gets to Oklahoma. We're just going to lock him in as a commit at this point. And he is going to bring not only just an ability to catch and run, but obviously, please go back and watch his 24/7 tape. His 24/7 profile, third play, you'll see a Michael or somebody. That's why I'm excited. And he's pretty much an honorary member of the two planes because he's blocking like it.
He really is. And I think this kind of shows just how like this rating system it's not perfect. How many analysts or like high school recruiting people are looking at the tape of these players and getting to watch the games versus 44 college football staffs. Nick Saban, I'm sure he makes a mistake every once in a while, but like Brandon says, he's got the Alabama stamp of approval, and there's no way that anyone can convince, I think, anyone that Nick Saban is recruiting a player because proximity or whatever. He's definitely recruiting him because he sees a lot of potential. So the fact that he's a 3-star probably is going to change once we get into the winter next spring, once the final recruiting rankings come out. So who knows? Maybe he can make a huge jump to be a 5-star. The fact that he's, like you guys said, has the most offers out of any tight end in the country is crazy because he's a 3-star. I mean, we had Luke Haas. He was a 4 or 5-star in the same class, and he's out offering him. So it's crazy to think that we're going from, when back with the old staff, we had Luke Haas, who was a great tight end. He's hopefully he has success at Arkansas. If that's where he ends up signing his letter of intent. But we're going after a guy that's got a lot of potential. Whenever we were talking about it before we recorded, he's kind of, it's hard to say that he's Gronkowski-like, but he's kind of he has similar traits. The build is, they're big, enormous human beings, and he's not scared to block. But, some tight ends just aren't there to block. Some just want to catch the ball, which is fine. But if you can find a tight end that will put his head in there and just absolutely maul someone, and then on the next play, run a quick slant or an out, and be able to truck the safeties and the small corners that are in front of him, why wouldn't he be the number 1 tight end you're targeting, right? So I think hopefully, fingers crossed, he is committed, or he is going to commit after this weekend, because I think he will be a huge addition, especially on the offensive side of the ball, where the recruiting has been pretty slow in regards to the news coming out as of, so far in May. We're only a couple weeks into it.
Yeah, it's huge. 6'6", 230 plus. He's going to be, by the time he gets through the senior season, I would imagine he's going to put on another 10, 15 pounds before he comes on campus. He's probably going to get up to that 260 mark. He's going to be a terrific athlete, hopefully for the Sooners. But, Steve Wiltfong and I believe Parker Thune came in with some crystal balls for him. It's quickly evolving. So he's moving along, not saying he's penciled in. It looks like he's got a visit scheduled now, according to 247. I'm just now seeing this because I just looked at it like 30 minutes ago. It does look like he has a visit to Florida on his agenda for June 17th. So he's coming up for the Sooners. Hopefully the Sooners lock him down, but he's definitely exploring his options. But he does have 44 offers. That's a ton for a tight end. That's insane, actually, to think about. So while I agree, Jose, while the stars are not always right. I mean, these college coaches are evaluating for what they like, and obviously there's a lot of programs out there and a lot of good programs that all like them. So someone to watch, someone that we're gonna keep a close eye on, and someone that we'll be talking about here shortly. We'll move on to the next guy. This is if it wasn't for his name, we wouldn't be talking about it probably. But this weekend, OU is hosting a JUCO quarterback out of Tyler Junior College. His name is General Booty. General Booty is visiting this weekend. He's 6'3", about 200 pounds. He's coming in he's not going to have a scholarship offer. Most likely looking as a preferred walk-on. The guy's name is General Booty. Man, that's quite the name. Brandon, I know you weren't pumped about this. What do you think? I mean, when the booty calls, you pick up, right?
No. No, that's the worst advice you could possibly give to anybody. What? No. I mean, I guess, yeah. Yeah, I guess, yeah. But not with General Booty. No. The fact, I mean, he's got good size, but so does Davis Bevel. We've got Jackson Arnold. We've got Nick Evers. We've got DJ Lagway is a guy that we're targeting in the 24 class. There are quarterbacks that are going to come in / already committed / already on the roster that General Booty will never get his time to shine. He comes from an athletic background. His dad and uncle played at LSU in football. I think they're both receivers, though. So he's got that. I'm sure he's decent. He's not – it's literally because, I mean, I don't think I ever want to see in my life being a Sooner fan, the Sooner starting quarterback. His name was General Booty. Like, it just – I don't want that. It's and I just don't think he'll ever – there's too much talent at that quarterback room, and there will always be too much talent at the quarterback room for General Booty.
That's just ridiculous. That guy's going to be – last week you were vouching for Bohannon, and now – because you wanted veteran leadership in that quarterback room, and now you get probably one of the coolest names you're going to hear in this transfer portal, and he's a veteran quarterback. Now you hate him just because he's got a dope name?
Hold on. So are you comparing playing – and having good numbers at Baylor.
Good is a stretch.
To Tyler Junior College, that's the same thing.
General Booty. It's got a cooler name.
So I guess I got a question for you. I'm going to ask, does General Booty, is he further up in the depth chart compared to Nick Evers?
No.
No. Good? No, but I don't think Gary Bohannon was that close. That's obviously a thing of the past because not everyone agrees, but I'll be proven right at some point.
But he did have 3,100 yards and 25 touchdowns. Just throwing it out.
More yards, more touchdowns.
Gary Bohannon
better name. And then you got Jerry down here. So I mean, the numbers speak for themselves. That's all I'm saying. He's got a dope name. Wherever he does go, I hope he lands a very hilarious NIL deal, because how can you not with that name? I'm sure everyone's mind is going to the same thing, but I'm not going to say it. I just hope it happens because that guy has the perfect name. How does a company not want to work with this guy?
What company are you thinking of?
We're not going to talk about it, but definitely more adult-themed entertainment. But yeah, best of luck to that guy. I agree with you guys. Like being honest, yeah, he's never going to step on the field at Oklahoma. Maybe never is a stretch, but it's going to be very hard for him to get any playing time, especially if he transferred this year. Like Brum said, he's more than likely going to be a preferred walk-on. Then he'll have to battle Ralph Rucker, Micah Bowens. We saw a lot of people in the last comment whenever we were talking about Gary Bohannon and Nick Evers. A lot of people are super high on Mike Bowens, just like our guy Brum. He actually predicted last year that Micah might be the starting quarterback next year. So it's always possible. Could somehow happen. And then, Nick Evers will have Jackson Arnold next year. So there's going to be it's pretty deep in there. Even if he compares to like a Ralph Rucker or Micah Bowen, it's going to be tough to outplay an experienced Nick Evers or even a Jackson Arnold who's got a really big arm.
Yeah. In all seriousness, I wonder with him, is it that he put up some pretty good stats at the junior college level, wants to transfer to Oklahoma, get top level coaching, like top notch coaching for a year or two, and then looks to transfer to a different school? I don't know. I could see that being part of it, like, that he got a lot of great development and then he's going to go try to play somewhere else. I'm not sure. From what I've read, it seems to be between Oklahoma and New Mexico State, I think, I think it's New Mexico State. So we'll find out this weekend, but I feel, yeah, no, New Mexico is the Lobos and New Mexico State is they're like the Cowboys or whatever. I don't know. The Aggies. They're the New Mexico State Aggies, I think. I don't know. But anyway, so we'll keep an eye on General Booty. Be watching out for him. Might see the preferred walk-on for OU. Might not. So,
hell yeah.
Anyway, so great name. Man, I just couldn't imagine when you're thinking about names, you're like, oh, we're going General Booty. But anyway, so it's a great name. So we'll move on to the next guy. And the last guy we're going to talk about is Phil Picciotti. He's from Perkasie, Pennsylvania, 2023, 3-star linebacker. He's originally been crystal ball to Penn State, and it seemed like, oh, there goes Jose. Let's see a reaction. I will pause for this one. And here we go. Some ranch water.
Have you ever had a ranch water, Brown? They're not that good.
They're not very good. I'd much rather be drinking a beer than that stuff. He's got half of it on his shirt.
Either way, shotgunning sucks.
Oh, I agree.
I made a mess. All right, boys, continue. I'll be right back. I got to throw away some trash.
All right. So anyway, Jose paid his bet, but Phil Picciotti, we've talked about him a little bit. He's coming back for the Champ U barbecue, and just like a bunch of other guys are going to be coming back for the barbecue, they're getting their videos and their edits, going public on Twitter, and we'll talk more about that as it approaches. It's less than a month away, which is hard to believe. I mean, we're going to be in the summer ball before we know it. But Phil Picciotti, he's a monster. The guy had 144 tackles last year, 19 tackles for loss. He played as a freshman at his high school, so he's played every single year at the varsity level. The guy's a freak. It's really going to come down to, in my opinion, is OU and Penn State. And I think we've talked about this just like with a few kids from Florida, like Derek LeBlanc with his many of visits on his own dime or his family's dime. Phil's the same way, coming back for his 4th visit. I think it's his official visit, so this one will be free. But the fact that you are in Pennsylvania and you make now coming up on your 4th visit, it's not right down the road like Seattle to Norman is. So, I mean, it's a far haul. I feel like him taking the time, bringing his family, it's got to be looking good. And it's Brent Venables. I feel like the Sooners have a legitimate shot. Brandon, what do you think?
No, for sure. And he kind of fits the theme with it to me. Like, I'm going to start keeping a running tally every time we start talking about these recruits or potential kids coming, or, kids coming to campus, kids that we're looking at, whatever. Cause I'm telling you, there's a theme. And it's over and over again. Everybody seems to be 6'2" and up. Phil Picciotti, he fits that. He's 6'3", 225. You mentioned his numbers. Unlike with Mikeska, they immediately jump right at you. It's the first thing you notice about him. Anybody who racks up 144 tackles, 19 of which for loss, clearly he's very instinctual and he knows how to find the ball, see ball, get ball, or bring him down. He does a very good job at that. I also agree with your take on. I think when we first talked about him, we're excited about the potential, just because those numbers are freaky, and that size is really good too. So you're excited about that. you're excited about your brain goes to, man, we can pair him with Kobe McKenzie, we can pair him with Jaren Kanak, things like that. But I mean, it kind of seemed like a pipe dream because Penn State is linebacker U. And it's what they do. That's in his backyard. It seemed like it would be a very hard thing to do. But as you just mentioned, you don't visit a place 4 times, especially a place that's far away, if there's not like legitimate serious interest. So I think it is a Penn State. It's a Penn State OU race. Hopefully this weekend goes well, and hopefully he ends up putting that crimson and cream on.
He's very much like a Dylan Edwards in regards to his like recruiting and how people see him because of the stars. Because both of those guys, like you guys have said about Phil, and like we've mentioned about Dylan Edwards before, the numbers just jump off the page. Like you look at them and you're thinking this is probably a 4 or 5 star recruit coming out of high school. And then you look at their profiles on most places, they're 3 stars. And yeah, sometimes they'll be bumped up to like a fringe 4, but Phil is a football player, and he plays special teams in high school as well. So coming out of high school, wherever he goes, it's probably fair to expect him to play some special teams. But I don't know what the linebacker depth is like at Penn State. I know that when Brent Venables has talked about it in the past, he's okay with the depth that we have right now, but he wants to continue to build on it. So, I mean, it's going to be tough to crack the starting lineup with just the 3 linebackers we got, or the 3 young linebackers we got in this class, and Kip, Kobe, and Jaren. But I mean, people do graduate. It's not like they're going to be around forever. And I think he would be a good addition to bring in to help, especially on like run stopping. He's very good at finding the hole and attacking it. I know whenever we talked about Kobe, he's good at finding the hole, but he's a little bit more patient to let the play progress and then attack the running back maybe 1 or 2 yards or right at the line of scrimmage. Phil just blasts through the hole. He will create his own hole in some instances and just try to get to the ball. And yeah, sometimes it doesn't work for him, but I think with coaching, well, that kind of stuff will ultimately get cleaned up, and he can be a really good player at the college level.
Yeah, I think sometimes I really question why some kids are a 3-star and why some kids are a 5-star. I feel like sometimes it's a lot more based off of what they think their long-term development potential is and not what they're doing for them like today. And sometimes that's true, and I'm sure that's right. But, you know, you see those stat breakdowns like in the, NFL draft last month, how many first rounders were actually 5 stars, and it's not as many as you think it is. Sometimes a kid that can produce at the high school level that is a proven already will continue to do that. And I feel like he's one of those guys. So sometimes it's better to take a proven commodity than the potential of someone if they actually can fully develop. So do you guys have any final thoughts, or Brandon, do you have an individual challenge for everyone?
So the end, I don't. Do you have any closing thoughts? Final thoughts?
No. I thought I almost considered stealing your end video, but I don't remember what I was gonna do. So it's all you.
No, it's all you. If you want it, it's you. I'm kind of struggling tonight. I will defer.
Oh, Brum's gonna do it. Brum's speaking up. Brum's got it.
Welcome back.
Yeah, Brum in the video challenge. I'm back. So I guess my question would be, would anyone be interested if we ever, long-term speaking, came out with a website with little news article write-ups or like blog write-ups on what we thought, rather than just a video format and Twitter format, maybe a little more of our perspectives and opinions, and like on a blog setting? It would be interesting to see if anyone would actually be wanting to read that. Not saying it's going to happen tomorrow. It's just kind of seeing what everyone thinks. I don't know. So, but if you made it this far, we really appreciate it. Hit the subscribe button, do the individual challenge, like my first one of like ever. Let us know if a website would interest you. Hit the subscribe button, turn the notification bell, find us on all our social medias, Apple, Spotify, everything's linked below. And we will catch you on Monday, probably a recruiting update, and hopefully we have a new commit.